Honourable members, Madam Speaker.
Prayer.
Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with your abundant favor these your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge. Amen.
Item 2 on the order paper. Communication from the chair.
Honourable members, I must apologize for coming late, and I want to welcome you to this morning's sitting. It will never happen again. Honourable members, we've also learned with deep sorrow about the demise of Honourable John Nyeko Arap Kisa, who represented Queen County in the 7th and 8th Parliament. I know some of you know him. We want to condole with the bereaved family and the people of Queen, and we pray for eternal repose of his soul. And being our colleague and being a gallant Ugandan, and may we rise for a moment of silence in his honor.
May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Honourable members, also pursuant to Article 101, Sub-Article 1 of the Constitution of Republic of Uganda, 1995, the House will receive a presidential address on the State of Nation on 5th June 2025. This will also mark the official state opening of the 5th session of the 11th Parliament. We shall be serving our last year as members of Parliament, as we pray whether we come back or... In addition, pursuant to Article 155, Sub-Article 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, Parliament will receive a budget speech on 12th June 2025. I accordingly urge you to take note of these dates, because they are very, very important dates in our calendar. Honourable members, I have been in touch with the Budget Committee. As you are aware, today's order paper is basically on appropriation, and we close the financial year. I've been in touch with the Budget Committee. They will be ready in the next 1 hour. But before that, we can do other work. We have a motion from seeking leave by Honourable Megade. And then we can also have other things first as we wait for the committee. Yes, Jonah?
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm seeking your guidance. This morning, I received a notice to attend to a meeting scheduled by the Committee on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs at 10 o'clock in the morning. And when you observe this house, it's virtually empty. I've also seen a number of committees moving out, and yet we are in a very important process that would require the numbers. The guidance I'm seeking from you, Madam Speaker, is whether you could prevail over some of the committees that are also scheduling competing activities with plenary, which should actually take precedent and allow members to participate in this very important budgeting process, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, this is a very important activity as a member of parliament, appropriation. If you can't be there for appropriation, then what will you be there for? So all the members are requested to be in the house during appropriation, and if you don't come, the public is watching. Yes, Lob.
Honourable Speaker, we have said severally that the matters that we deliberate on here are very critical. You invited us this morning to deal with the appropriation bill. I see just the finance minister here. I don't know where the prime minister is, because this is primarily her business. I don't know whether she's attending to a committee somewhere that there's all these parallel happenings, because I thought that we would all pay attention to this, which is critical. So perhaps even the committees that are sitting to handle what is actually important work, because committees operate on behalf of this house. So I thought that you would guide so that we have some kind of focus, because I'm also worried that we might have a quorum challenge when we are dealing with something as important as the appropriation bill. So would it not be good that we focus, that either we say, let's give the committees time to handle whatever they have to, and then we see when we deal with this matter, which is time-bound, by the way, according to the law, or that we draw all our energies to this critical work, the appropriation bill. The committee work, I believe, is not as urgent as this, which is time-bound within the law, so that everybody can come, including all the critical stakeholders that we require. Thank you.
Thank you. All the committees should come to the house. All members in the committee should come to the house, save for budget. And after the budget signing, they should also come to the house. Yes.
Madam Speaker, you have guided what I wanted to raise, because you had said the committees, every member should come. But we know that the committees are sitting now, like Park and others. So hopefully the clerk now is going to ask them to suspend so that we all come and attend to this important issue. We are also organizing, Madam Speaker, we are mobilizing our other colleagues, ministers, to come and attend to this important issue of the budget. Thank you.
But as ministers, how do you feel when we do appropriation without you in the house? How would you feel? Then at the end of the day, you go back and complain to the president, these people shifted money from here, that kind of thing. How do you feel when we do appropriation without you? For heaven's sake.
Madam Speaker.
You're going to monitor money that you don't know how much money has been put there, that you've not participated in giving. And we have 83. And we have only 3 here. Yes, Sarah, then...
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I also suspect that the quorum is affected by what is going on the roads. It is really tough to access Parliament. I don't know what is happening. There are stops everywhere. It took me almost 30 minutes to move from just Kingdom Hall coming here. And when
Sarah,
yes, Right Honourable Speaker.
I also stay in a village. If you want to reach a place early, You knew that the house is at 10. Why didn't you come early?
Right on-
Don't divert us, Sarah.
Can I complete what I wanted to say? What is going on? Because the security around
You-
Parliament is unusual, Right Honourable Speaker.
Which is security?
I was asked for my national ID. And I told them that if you don't know my face, that's when one police officer allowed me to come in. There
Sarah,
are
I
blockages.
think- I think there's a
Thank you,
problem.
Right Honourable Speaker.
No, you have a problem.
Madam,
Let me have Macho first, then Goretti.
Madam Speaker, Sarah is one of my best friends. Busia District, we are grandchildren of Tororo. I get ashamed to say that she might be talking which is not the truth. I would have said she's lying, but I said she might be talking which is not the truth, because this morning I have used almost 3 routes to Parliament. I came first, went to Garden City, no checkup.
You also went to National
I
Theatre?
crossed to National Theatre, no checkup. I went to Jubilee Building at KCCA, no checkup. But what is important, Madam Speaker, is that our colleagues should have to give this session importance. Majorly, the people
And that's
on the
what
front
Lope
bench.
says, even
Yes,
Jonathan.
and for now, I want to agree strongly with the Lope that the front bench should give. No, I keep agreeing with him. The problem is his boss who talks hopelessly. Madam Speaker,
No,
I
no, no.
withdraw. I withdraw that statement.
No. Yeah.
I withdraw that
Please
statement.
withdraw.
Madam Speaker, I have
Please.
withdrawn it. But Madam Speaker,
he's
Honorable Namuga,
withdrawing.
the foot soldier, has no authority to stand and point at me. Has no authority to stand at.
Goretti.
Honorable, when a
Already
member raises
sit.
the point of order, you sit. Right Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Geoffrey Macho, Member of Parliament for Busia Municipality, has said something interesting. He has said that my boss always speaks hopelessly. Honorable Speaker, as leader of the opposition and in this house, my boss is you. You are the Speaker of Parliament. I work under you as Speaker of Parliament. We all work under you as our Speaker and casually as our boss. Is Honorable Macho in order to say that the Speaker speaks hopelessly?
Honorable Macho, you have the most brilliant speaker if you don't know, who does not go to National Theatre, very sober 24/7. You're not in order. Can you withdraw your statement?
Madam Speaker, with all due respect to your chair, as one of the best speakers in Uganda since independence, I was not referring to you, I was referring to the boss of his political party, and he knows
So
it.
can you
And
withdraw?
therefore, Madam Speaker,
decorum?
I withdraw for the purpose of decorum
And
for the
apologize.
purpose, and therefore I apologize because I need the Lope to be given a card for nope. I really apologize, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. He's having a maiden speech. Goretti.
I want to thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for first of all adjourning this plenary to 10, because we need time to process this appropriation. Speaker.
By the way, I just want to make a reminder that this budget has not just started today. We have the budget framework paper, ministerial statements, and I am happy that my deputy gave you 3 weeks of debate. So the report will come and give us a summary of what they've done, what effect it has, and what will be done. Yes?
Right Honourable Speaker, this is a very important process to this country, and it's very embarrassing for the front bench to be empty. Actually, having 4 members, Right Honourable Speaker, yes.
Goretti, we've already made a ruling on that. We need the people in the House.
Right Honourable Speaker.
Government Chief Whip, can we have members in the House?
We stated, Madam Speaker, that we are mobilizing members to be in the House. and they are coming as we wait for the budget to come, as we wait for the budget committee. So we are going to have members. I think the honourable colleague should relax. This is a matter that we have already attended to. And also mobilize on your side so that the whole house can be full.
Right Honourable Speaker is very aware that we are the minority, and for now we are the majority. Right Honourable Speaker, I would request that once the report comes to the floor, we are given ample time to discuss this budget, because at times,
Madam,
Right Honourable Speaker.
Madam, unfortunately, you're now debating in anticipation. You had a lot of time with this report. What is foreign affairs?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues. Mine is a matter of national importance.
Raise that issue when these people come. I know your issue.
Madam Speaker, the Prime Minister is here. And with your indulgence, Madam Speaker,
I am saying I have asked the Minister of Foreign Affairs to be here because I know you have an issue. Why don't you listen? Ekanya?
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, we appropriated resource here for different government departments, among which was for drugs in our hospitals and health centers. Right Honourable Speaker, I have received a complaint. I visited Mulago 2 days ago, and in my constituency, the distribution of drug is not as per the plan, which was presented to all hospitals. Right Honourable Speaker, isn't it proper for the Right Honourable Prime Minister to give us status report as we come to the close of the financial year on the distribution of drug for the last half of the financial year? Right Honourable Speaker, I beg.
Prime Minister, I hope you heard what they said. When you want to call, kindly go out and make a call.
Right Honourable Speaker, I was trying to communicate to some of the ministers to be here in the House, so that's what I was trying to do. But Honourable Kanya, I request that you come again and I give you a question.
Prime Minister, next time when you want to make a call, you just walk out there so that we know that you're busy, you're making a call, just out of respect for the House.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Let me restate it again. Right Honourable Speaker, we appropriated money for drugs for all hospitals, health center 4s, 2s, and 3. Right Honourable Speaker, I visited Mulago and I've received complaint from my health centers. The plan for distribution of drug has not matched with what was the plan that was issued. As of now, we are reaching the end of the financial year. Isn't it proper for the Right Honourable Prime Minister to give us a status report for drug distribution to all health centers in the country for the last half of the financial year?
So the Prime Minister will bring the report on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Right Honourable Minister, Right Honourable Speaker, on Tuesday, that report will be here.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Motion seeking leave of the House to introduce a private member's bill, the Microfinance Deposit Taking Institutions Amendment Bill.
Honourable Migade.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I'm aware many colleagues are members of the Uganda Parliamentary Circle, where I'm a chair, and I move this motion in good spirit to also help the other circles in the country. The motion is seeking leave of the House to introduce a private member's bill entitled the Microfinance Deposit Taking Institutions Amendment Bill. It's moved under Rule 127 and 128 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament. Whereas Article 79 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, empowers Parliament to make laws on any matter for the peace, order, development, and good governance of Uganda. And whereas Article 94, 4B of the Constitution and Rules of Procedure, 127 and 128 of the Rules of Parliament permit a member to move a private member's bill, aware that the establishment, general governance, and regulations of savings and credit cooperative societies in Uganda is undertaken under the Cooperative Societies Act, CAP 107, and Tier 4, Microfinance Institutions and Moneylenders Act, CAP 61, and the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act, CAP 58, noting that an entity that intends to operate in Uganda as a savings and credit cooperative society is required under the Cooperative Societies Act to apply to the Register of Cooperatives under the means of trade for registration and issuance of a certificate of registration as a cooperative society, further noting that once a savings and credit cooperative society is registered and issued a certificate of registration under the Cooperative Societies Act, the savings and credit cooperative society is required under the Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions and Moneylenders Act to apply and obtain from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development a license to operate the business of savings and credit, recognizing that in addition to the requirements imposed on savings and credit cooperative societies under the Cooperative Societies Act and Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions and Moneylenders Act, the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act, CAP 61, requires savings and credit cooperative societies which have voluntary savings in excess of 1,500,000,000 and institutional capital above 500 million to be licensed by Bank of Uganda to transact microfinance business among their members. Concerned that the requirements on savings and credit cooperative societies under the Cooperative Societies Act, the Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions Act, and the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act have resulted in multiple overlapping regulatory and licensing requirements, thereby creating a complex business environment for savings and credit cooperative societies, leading to increased costs, potential for errors, and difficulties in complying with all obligations imposed under the law. Further concerned that the provisions under the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act, bringing cooperative societies under the supervision of Bank of Uganda, ignore the fact that the structures, modalities, operations, and principles of savings and credit cooperative societies are different from those of microfinance deposit-taking institutions, since cooperatives, by their nature, are more concerned with their members' welfare and cooperation, while microfinance deposit-taking institutions are profit-driven. Cognizant that whereas the capital requirements for microfinance deposit-taking institutions are easy to prescribe, defining regulatory capital requirements for savings and credit cooperative societies is particularly challenging, since capital invested by members of a savings and credit cooperative society may be withdrawn at any time, thereby fluctuating the voluntary savings and institutional capital held by savings and credit cooperative societies, and rendering the savings and capital requirements imposed under the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act impossible to achieve. Firmly convinced that there is urgent need to amend the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act, CAP 58, to remove all references to registered societies made under the Act in order to harmonize the regulatory framework applicable to savings and credit cooperative societies in Uganda. Now, therefore, this motion is moved that this Parliament accepts the introduction of a bill for an act entitled the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Amendment Bill, a draft of which is attached here to Right Honourable Speaker. I beg to move.
Thank you, Honourable Migande. Seconded. Seconded. Susan, Isaac, Timu, Sarah, Gureme, Dr. Oyonga, Catherine, Honorable Alanyo, Honorable Onekesa, Okoti, Kweni, Karamoja. Thank you, thank you. Would you want to speak to your motion?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and I thank the colleagues for the overwhelming secondment. Honorable Speaker, my justification is the laws governing operations of SACCOs in Uganda include the Cooperative Societies Act, CAP 107, and the Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions Act. An entity that intends to operate in Uganda as a SACCO must fulfill the following. 1, which is A, obtain a certificate of registration from the Register of Cooperatives as required under the Cooperative Societies Act. B, obtain a license to operate the business of savings and credit from the ministry responsible for finance as required under the Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions and Money Lenders Act. C, if the SACCO has a voluntary savings in excess of 1,500,000,000 shillings and institutional capital of 500 million, obtain a license from Bank of Uganda to transact microfinance business among their members as required in the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act, CAP 61. The requirement to obtain a license from the Bank of Uganda under the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act, CAP 61, was a recent requirement introduced in 2016. Prior to the 2016, SACCOs were regulated by Register of Cooperatives and be issued with a license to operate savings and credit business. In 2016, Parliament, through the Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions and Money Lenders Act 2016, made various amendments to the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 203 to extend the application of the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 2003 to cooperative societies registered under the Cooperative Societies Act. The amendment made by the Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions and Money Lenders Act 2016 to the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 2003 include, among others, a new definition of a registered society and a provision extending the application of the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 203 to registered societies which have voluntary savings in excess of 1 billion. The amendment extended the application of the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act to SACCOs which have voluntary savings in excess of 1 billion. The amendment meant that SACCOs were segregated into two categories: those that are regulated by Ministry of Finance and those regulated by Bank of Uganda. Honorable Speaker, this is against the cooperative principle worldwide where SACCOs belong to one regulator. In 2022, government, through the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Amendment Bill 2022, proposed various amendments to the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 2003, including a proposal to insert a new definition of registered societies and a provision extending the application of the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 2003 to registered societies. The amendments proposed under the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 2022 were similar to amendments that were made by Parliament to the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 2003 under Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions and Money Lenders Act 2016. Parliament rejected the proposals contained in the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Amendment Bill 2022, reasoning that the application of the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act CAP 58 to cooperative societies will create regulatory ambiguity, since cooperative societies are fundamentally different in structure, operations, goals, and general regulatory framework from microfinance deposit-taking institutions to which the Act applies. Despite the rejection by Parliament of the amendments contained in the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act Bill 2022, the amendments that were earlier introduced the Microfinance Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 2003 under the Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions and Money Lenders Act 2016 are still applicable to registered cooperative societies, thereby creating a triple regulatory framework which has resulted in cooperative societies being registered and supervised by the Register of Cooperatives in the Ministry of Trade under the Cooperative Societies Act, licensed by the Ministry of Finance under Tier 4 Act, and issued with a license to operate under the Microfinance Deposit Taking Institutions Act by Bank of Uganda. The amendments also resulted in multiple and overlapping regulatory licensing requirements, thereby creating a complex business environment for savings and credit cooperative society, leading to increased costs, potential for errors, and difficulties complying with all obligations imposed under the law. The amendments also ignored the fact that the structures, modalities, operations, and principles of savings and credit societies are different, like I stated earlier. The amendment also created compliance challenges, since it is impossible to define capital requirements for savings and credit cooperative, like I mentioned earlier. The bill now proposes to amend the Microfinance Deposit Taking Institutions Act to delimit the application of the act to SACCOs. This will allow SACCOs to be regulated under the Cooperative Societies Act Cap 107 and the Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions and Money Lenders Act 61. Right Honorable Speaker, for record, the SACCOs with the capital requirement, for example, is parliamentary SACCO. In the 4th year, members withdraw their savings to go for campaigns, because many save for that specific. And that means that at every 4th year, if that is the assumption that you save for campaign, then you have the SACCO will be registered by Bank of Uganda, and in the 4th year it goes back to finance, because then the capital requirement will no longer be there. So there is no reason why we send parliamentary SACCO, Wazalendo, Police SACCO, URS SACCO, and all the other. Now you also have the miogas. So that means there is going to come a time when all the miogas are all going to be used by Bank of Uganda. And right when
the savers withdraw their finances.
Yeah, exactly. What some SACCOs are now doing is because to limit the reserves. So when they have about 400 million, and they know when you exceed the 500 million, you go to Bank of Uganda. So what they do is to limit membership and to limit deposits, so that they keep within the lower limit. So that's why we move this motion, Right Honorable Speaker. And my prayer is that as the last 1 week we have seen, it is possible to really access a certificate of financial implication within a short period, and that's my prayer.
Thank you. Honorable members, I put a question that Honorable Migade Robert Ndugwa be granted leave to introduce a private member's bill titled the Microfinance Deposit Taking Institution Amendment Bill. Those in favor stand the contrary nay. Let's have it. And pursuant to Rule 127.3 of the Rules of Procedure, I will ask the clerk to accord the member the required professional assistance in drafting the bill and ensuring that he gets the certificate of financial implication. And meanwhile, the Prime Minister, we approved money in this House, 33 billion, that the SACCO, parliamentary SACCO, was demanding from government. The money was paid by government because government took the parliamentary SACCO land, and that money was paid. To date, members want their money. The money has not been paid. The money is sitting in some people's offices. As we come back to the House, we want a response from you on what is happening on that money. The chairman of the SACCO should be able to give you all the information, and you report, because that money is for these members. It's for these members.
Right Honorable, for record, I think it's better the Prime Minister gets this information on record as opposed to when we are out. We thank this Parliament that we cooperated with the government and under compulsory acquisition, and indeed they took the land belonging to us. That's the Uganda Parliamentary Circle. Valuation was done. We met the President and the Right Honorable Speaker through you many times. A number of meetings were held. The reason for those meetings was to have a speedy compensation. This Parliament approved the money through a supplementary, and since we approved the supplementary, this money has not yet been paid. Finance informed us that this money was actually remitted to the Ministry of Defense, and it has been seated on their accounts for now almost a month, actually more than a month. So it beats the understanding. Why do we make supplementary requests? I thought, and when we try to inquire, they are now doing internal processing, the bureaucracy, you call it, is from one table to the other individual. So, Right Honorable Speaker, the appeal we have to the Prime Minister and this Parliament is, can we be paid so that this money reaches our accounts? If it means by close of business today, let it come, because we know the money is actually there. Thank you very much.
Honorable Prime Minister, as we suspend the House, when we return, you'll give us a feedback on that.
Much obliged, Right Honorable Speaker.
And as you've heard, the chairman is saying members want their money. That is, members have been saving, and if you're failing to pay back members their money, then there's a problem. They are not asking for what is not theirs. It is theirs. Now, members will suspend the House for 1 hour for us to receive the budget.
All the 1, 2 and 2.
Honourable members, I want to welcome you back from the rest you had gone for. Next, break tea.
Item 3 on the order paper. Bill's second reading. The Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025.
Honourable members, you will recall that on 27th March 2025, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development tabled the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025 pursuant to Article 156(3) of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda and Section 24 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015. The bill was referred to the Budget Committee, and the committee has concluded on its consideration. Pursuant to Rule 136 of the Rules of Procedure, I will now invite the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to move a motion for the second reading of the bill. Honourable Minister.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move a motion that the Supplementary Appropriations Bill 2025 be read for the second time.
Seconded. Seconded by Ayekwa, Isaac, Peter, Sauda, Esther, Okasai, Wilson, Afande Mujira, Helen, Kelea, Omara, Emily, Honorable Kitutu, Honorable Ikojo, Honorable Tala, Honorable Isamat, Giovannis, Docas, Honorable Goli, Honorable Buka, Honorable Oyonga, Honorable Elwelo, Nekesa, Alanyo, Koluo, Margaret, Susan. Thank you. Speak to your motion.
Madam Speaker, the object of the bill is provide for the supplementary appropriation out of the consolidated fund under Article 156(3) of the Constitution and Section 24 of the Public Finance Management Act of the sum of 4,855,660,021,785 shillings only to meet additional expenditure for financial year 2023-2024. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, we are bringing all the supplementaries that we pass, consolidate them, and close the financial year. Before we go into appropriation, we need to first close what was in the previous financial year, all what we spent as supplementaries, and that's the basis of this bill. Chair.
Right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I beg to report and read the report of the Committee on Budget on all the three supplementary requests that we passed in the last year in a Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025. I lay the report of the committee and the minutes of the committee. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025 was introduced in the House for the first reading on the 27th of March 2025, pursuant to Article 156(3) of our Constitution. The bill was referred to the Committee on Budget in accordance with Rule 163 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament of Uganda. during the implementation of the budget for the financial year 2023-2024, government sought additional resources for various votes to meet emerging expenditure requirements. In this regard, 3 supplementary schedules were laid before Parliament in accordance with the provisions of Article 156(2) of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda and Section 24 of the Public Finance Management Act 171. These schedules were considered by the Budget Committee and subsequently approved by Parliament. Madam Speaker and colleagues, permit me to present to you a report of the Committee on the Supplementary Appropriation Bill as revised 2025. Of course, as the Speaker has summarized, the object of this bill is to provide for supplementary appropriation out of the consolidated fund in accordance with Article 156(2) and 3 of the Constitution and Section 24 of the PFMA Cap 171. And the sum being appropriated is 4,855,660,021,785 shillings only to meet additional expenditure for the financial year 2023-2024. Madam Speaker, this is being presented as per the provisions of Article 156(2) and 3 of the Constitution, which provides, as is reported there on page 3, and Section 24 of the Public Finance Management Act. I go to the background, Madam Speaker. During the implementation of the budget for the financial year 2023-24, government sought additional resources to meet expenditure requirements as follows. On the 30th of November 2023, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development laid before Parliament supplementary expenditure estimates under Schedule 1 for the financial year 2023-24, amounting to Uganda shillings 3,500.647 billion. Furthermore, on the 17th of April 2024, the Minister laid before Parliament another supplementary expenditure estimate under Schedule number 2 for the financial year 2023-24, amounting to Uganda shillings 1,101.099 billion. And in addition to that, on the 16th of May 2024, the Minister again laid a third schedule, supplementary expenditure under Schedule number 3 for the financial year 23-24, amounting to 288.624 billion Uganda shillings. The methodology is there as we process this appropriation supplementary. I go straight to number 4, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the committee observations and recommendations. 4.1, we checked for consistency in recurrent expenditures. Madam Speaker, the committee observed that the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025 recurrent expenditure figures were consistent with the resolutions of Parliament on supplementary expenditure schedules number 1, 2, and 3 for the financial year 2023-2024. So, Madam Speaker, there were no errors, and we have found consistency, which is very, very good. 4.2, consistent development expenditures. The committee observed that the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025 development figures were consistent with the resolutions of Parliament on supplementary expenditure number 1, 2, and 3. So the figures, Madam Speaker and colleagues, the figures were right and consistent as passed by this House. I conclude, Madam Speaker, by urging the House that the committee recommends that the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025 be passed into law. Madam Speaker, I beg to report.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. As I said before, it is basically on harmonization of the supplementaries for us to be able to close a financial year. Honorable Minister, do you have anything to say? Shadow?
Maybe, Madam Speaker, just to emphasize what you have said, especially to colleagues that are not used to these processes, that actually what we are doing now, because usually the budget is in the Appropriations Act, but there is money that was passed after the approval of the appropriation. That's why this is supplementary. I think in a normal bill, this should have been an amendment. But in budgeting, we are just putting money in the law because the budget is a law. So really, this isn't a big deal.
Thank you.
I only want to caution colleagues with whom we serve on the budget committee to next time to give these processes more time, because it will be suicidal to approve figures and later you discover that the figures you approved had issues. But really, this exercise is like a ceremony. I don't know why it is even there.
Thank you. I put a question that the Supplemental Appropriation Bill 2025 be read the second time. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
The Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025, Bills Committee stage. Clause 1.
I put a question that clause 1 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
I put a question that clause 2 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Schedule.
I put a question that the schedule stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Title.
I put a question that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Motion for the resumption of the House.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Chair, I beg to move a motion that the House resumes and the Committee of the whole House reports thereto.
I put a question that the House resumes and the Committee of the whole House reports thereto. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Report of the Committee of the whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the whole House has considered the bill entitled the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025 and passed it without amendments.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of the whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move a motion that the report from the Committee of the whole House be adopted.
I put a question that the report of the Committee of the whole House be adopted by this House. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Bills third reading. The Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move a motion that the Supplementary Appropriations Bill 2025 be read for the third time and do pass.
I put a question that the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025 be read the third time and do pass. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act titled the Supplementary Appropriation Act 2025.
The title is settled and the bill is passed. Congratulations. Thank you, members. When we left here, we asked for everybody to be in the house. I don't know why some people have not come to the house. But also, since we are going into elections, people should know the members of parliament to think about them. This is a very important session where you're distributing money to the whole country, what belongs to which area, and people absentee themselves. The voters should be able to see. I only got an apology from Honorable Guang. Next. Honorable Prime Minister, you had something to respond to the House.
Right Honorable Speaker, I talked to the Honorable Minister, both. He's coming here. He was a bit far, but he's coming to give a response on that issue. But before he comes in, I had also talked to the authorities of that money, the custodian of the money, that is the PS. She had told me that she had inquired, she had requested the Attorney General to give them an advice, which I think they have not yet done. So, Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable both is coming here to give the full report on that, just today.
We are coming to the end of the financial year. That is part of the money we have just passed, the bill, the 33. So how shall we handle it? How is it going to be handled? Because that is one of the supplementaries that we have passed. Honorable Minister of Finance, we are talking about the money, the supplementary for parliamentary circle.
Right Honorable Speaker, the money in respect of compensating parliamentary circle for the land Ministry of Defense occupied was budgeted for and released to the Ministry of Defense. I am only waiting to hear that parliamentary circle has been paid. As far as we are concerned as Ministry of Finance, we finished our part.
I am told they are seeking for a legal advice from AG.
Right Honorable Speaker, if they seek legal advice, I will give it. But like you said, they are seeking, but they haven't yet sought. They haven't reached me. I think, Right Honorable Speaker, really, I think without really getting through the House, the money was appropriated, it is given, and whatever has to be done needs to be done. We are available to render the advice as soon as they request for it. And I think what they need is just the clearance of the procurement contract. That's it. And I can assure you that it will not last in my office more than, I think, two hours, because the other time we did the bill in less than 2.
Thank you. So we need a response on that. Honorable Sarah.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, before we broke off for this recess in April, I did raise 2 issues regarding police officers who have not been receiving their salaries, some for close to 6 months. And I was surprised, Right Honorable Speaker, to even find police officers within this parliament approaching me to give evidence that they were also victims of that. The Minister of Public Service, the Minister of Internal Affairs brought a statement which was incomplete, and Public Service pledged to bring a more detailed statement confirming action they have taken. That aside, That aside, Right Honourable Speaker, as we await the Minister of Public Service to respond to the issue of police officers, people who are armed not receiving their salaries, there was also another issue of the lawyers in the police force, Right Honourable Speaker, whose salaries, Right Honourable Speaker, was reduced from what they were earning before. And these police officers took action trying to engage government following the President's directive in 2010 to enhance police lawyers' salaries just like other lawyers within the government. And these lawyers went to court. There was a judgment by Justice Sekana, which I did present on the floor, Right Honourable Speaker, where the judge did state that it was irregular, it was unconstitutional for anybody's salary to be reduced. Right Honourable Speaker, since that judgment, there has been no action taken from the government side. And when I presented this, the Attorney General did indicate that we could not proceed to discuss that matter because there was an appeal. Right Honourable Speaker, as we speak today, I did state that there was a notice which was placed. However, no memorandum of appeal was ever filed. And Right Honourable Speaker, I want to present here evidence that this case was actually closed and there is no appeal. But Right Honourable Speaker...
Let's start one by one. You say the police officers have not been paid.
Yes.
How many of them? Where are they located?
Right Honourable Speaker...
And how much is involved?
Right Honourable Speaker, when I presented this case, I was approached as I was traveling to Tororo over the Easter period. I stopped over in Ginger.
Now let's not go on to a fishing expedition.
No, Right Honourable Speaker.
Listen, Sarah. When you are approached as a good legislator, we expect you to go and find out how much money are the police officers demanding, who are these police officers, for you to come up with a very good statement to the floor. Because if we are going to go on to a fishing expedition and just get any information in the street, then we will not be legislating well. Let's have, so that if we are budgeting, so that we are able to know that how much money is expected, 300 billion. So that we say this money must go to the police. Because these people are very important to us. We need to know the people who have not paid the money. As far as I know, salaries always take first call. Honorable Minister, is that correct? Wages take first call.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I share the same opinion which you have. The issue could be something else. Otherwise, if it is wage takes first call, and we expect all our civil servants across government to have been paid by 28th of the month. I suggest that we link up with Internal Affairs to find out where the exact problem is. Thank you.
We need to get all the information so that we know what we are discussing about.
Thank you, Honourable Minister, for giving way. The matter of missing salaries, I think it's not unique to even police. I think it's a matter we don't need to just put down the carpet. It's a serious problem, Right Honourable Speaker. In my constituency, there are teachers that have missed...
Aisha, that is a very serious problem. We cannot live with the armed forces who are not paid. But we are saying, let's have all the details. Let's have all the details. So that we task finance to have these people paid. Whether it is nurses, teachers, doctors, whoever, let's have a comprehensive statement or report on this, which is both quantitative and qualitative. You need to have figures when you're making any report.
Honourable Speaker, I think...
Sarah, you will come on the issue of the judgment. let's first sort out.
Thank you, Speaker. Right, Honourable Speaker, I think the only way to get all information is us to take interest and maybe have an inquiry. Sarah was approached, even us officers approach us as a concerned entity. Can we put up an inquiry instead of putting it to Sarah to go now look for her informers? It's a very important matter. Can we institute an inquiry and see whether police officers will appear or not? But indeed, they are there that have been
Let me
missing
tell
salaries.
you, if you called for a meeting with the police officers, they will not come. They will fear. So let's get information the way we are supposed to get the information, other than just because we will talk here and they will not help them. So let's get all the information the way the information was got before. Yes, no, I want AG first to respond. Is it on this one?
Madam Speaker and colleagues, I think that when we have such challenges, the ideal thing would be to get to our district accounting officers to get the exact problem. Because if I have teachers in my constituency and they are claiming they have not been paid, the first person to ask is the accounting officer. Exactly. And he has put it in writing. Then I bring the petition or a letter here or to the ministry so that I table with evidence. But when we say we put an inquiry, where do we start from? I think we have an obligation as MPs to make sure that these issues that touch wage, for example, when we have wage shortfalls, we ask them to write so that we have evidence and we approach finance so that we can table these issues.
Thank you. Workers?
Yeah.
Margaret?
Yeah, thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I think these people are trying to get out of the cocoon because the newspaper of today, this is Monitor, is talking about how policemen spent 8 years without salary. So I'm sure the person who has been recorded, and I'm sure that he also...
Which paper is that?
Monitor. Of today. I buy newspapers.
And you believe it?
Yes. Yes. And he says, one of them, that he spent 8 years without salary, and the salary is equivalent to 42 million that he has not received. Let us not take this.
Honorable
lightly.
Minister, I think you need to take that up. Honorable Prime Minister, you need to take that up and find out who are those police officers who have taken, whether it is 3 months, whether it is 8 years, and find out the real cost.
Thank you.
The real cost, and not only police officers. We have the teachers, we have the doctors, we have the nurses. The issue of the court ruling, Honorable Attorney General.
I think, Right Honourable Speaker, what I can do is I can just write to your office and show you that we appealed. Because I did say that I appealed. Now she's telling me that the appeal is not there. But I'm the one who appealed. So what you can do is I can write to you this afternoon and show you that we filed the appeal.
Thank you.
Right Honourable Speaker, just to inform you that the Minister of Internal Affairs presented a report regarding the salaries of the missing police officers and even gave us statistics. But he mixed it with other, people who had absconded. And the Minister of Public Service acknowledged that there was actually a problem. They were transiting from one system to another, and in the process, some people have gotten their records, off the system, distorted. So that is partially the reason. And the Minister of Public Service had indicated that they had started correcting, and she was supposed to bring a statement.
Information.
But, Right Honorable Speaker, on the issue of the police officers, the lawyers within the police force, Right Honorable Speaker, when there is a judgment, and a judgment issued against our own actions, it baffles me, Right Honorable Speaker, because there was another case of salaries, of the downgrading of salaries of employees sometime back within the Ministry of Health. And when they appealed the decision of downgrading their salaries, this letter was written by the Attorney General. And it is the basis on which the police officers picked the Attorney General's letter dated 3rd August 2023 and went to court. And if I may quote from the Attorney General, my good friend Kiriowa Kiwanuka, this is what he said in this letter. He was quoting the Constitution, where any salary or allowance of the holder of any office is charged on the consolidated fund, it shall not be altered to his or her disadvantage after he or she has been appointed to that office. And he went on to advise that it would also amount to a breach by the employer of their terms of employment, and accordingly we reiterate our guidance as follows: that there is already a contract, the accounting officers cannot change the terms of employment of officers. Right Honorable Speaker, I am raising this because these police officers are actually stuck. Some of them got loans against the enhanced salaries, and now they are earning almost nothing because the entire money is going into clearing the loans. I want to lay on table, Right Honorable Speaker, this is a court document in the system referring to this case.
The photocopied document is what you want to lay on table?
This is...
bring the original and you lay it on table, not the photocopies.
Okay, allow me hand it to the Attorney General. It clearly indicates, Right Honorable Speaker, that the case was closed. There is no case actually in court. But the issue here, Right Honorable Speaker, there is a court judgment. So letters cannot work in this case. And these are police officers who are lawyers, whom the president gave an executive order that all lawyers across the board should have their salaries enhanced at the same level, because the police was losing lawyers to other entities of the government. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I think the government should resolve this matter.
You have the executive order.
Right Honorable Speaker, I presented the court judgment.
No, I'm saying there was executive order on increment of salaries for...
Right Honorable Speaker, unless I now pick all these documents and lay them. You'll give me time to bring them and lay them at an appropriate time.
Bring
Thank
all
you.
of them at a go. Yes, AG.
Right Honorable, I'm at pains, and I think that is where some of our jobs become very difficult. There is a situation where a police officer is not earning the salary that he thinks he should earn. There is a position that I think it is not correct. Now, I have made the choice to appeal the decision. Now, a member whom I've explained to the legal position, I've appealed the position, doesn't want me to appeal. Now, tomorrow, when these things happen again, they will say the Attorney General. Now, this document that you're referring to, Honorable Member, is the document in the High Court. We don't appeal High Court decisions in the High Court. We appeal High Court decisions in the Court of Appeal. So when you go to the High Court to check whether this case is there, because it was concluded by the judge, it does not appear in the schedule of the matters in the High Court. So if you want to find out whether we appealed, you go to the Court of Appeal and find out whether there is an appeal there. However, colleagues, if the salary is supposed to be increased, and I'm not saying the salary of police officers should not be increased, what I'm asking for, colleagues, let's do it properly. And that's what we said the last time. We left the administrative aspect to the Ministry of Public Service to do that properly. However, if we leave this precedent on the record, colleagues, it will not be good for government. So let public service handle the administrative aspect of